Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. Semi-Tough is a 1977 sports comedy film that was directed by Michael Ritchie. It stars Burt Reynolds, Kristofferson, Jill Clayburgh, Robert Preston, and Bert Convy. It was based on a 1972 novel of the same name by Dan Jenkins, and it was adapted for the screen by writer Walter Bernstein and the director Ritchie. They added a new storyline to it that included a satire of the self-help movement that was so popular at the time. The storyline goes that Marvin Shake Tiller and running back Billy Clyde Puckett are football buddies who play for a Miami pro team owned by Big Ed Bookman. Bookman's daughter, Barbara Jane, is roommates with both of these men, and the movie depicts a subtle love triangle relationship between Barbara Jane and her two friends. She initially has romantic feelings for Shake, who has become more self-confident after taking a self-improvement training course that's led by Frederick Bismarck. That training course is called Bismarck Energy Action Training, or BEAT for short. After Shake completes the course, he and Barbara Jane spend the night together and start a relationship. She's not a follower of BEAT, and Shake has been warned that mixed marriages don't work, that she must be a follower of the BEAT movement. She's determined to make it work, so she attends a BEAT seminar in an effort to get it. At the end of the training, she's completely worn out from the leader's sadistic abuse and sheer double talk. She feels guilty that she went through all this and didn't get it. Shake is insistent on the fact that the training has had proven results for him, noting that he has not dropped a football pass since he completed the program. Billy Clyde also has feelings for Barbara Jane, and he enrolls in this BEAT program too, to understand what she is going through. For a period of time, he pretends he underwent the conversion to Bismarck's way of thinking. While Barbara Jane and Shake are at the altar about to be married, the minister turns to Bismarck and gives him some advice on how he can avoid paying capital gains tax in his business. Billy Clyde ends up exposing the movement's shallow side, and he rescues Barbara Jane from the movement and her impending marriage to Shake. After leaving the wedding together, Barbara Jane and Billy Clyde reveal their true feelings for each other. Burt Reynolds began training with Kristofferson so that they could both get in shape for the production of the film. Before work began on the project, actor Bert Convy attended one of the real seminars that the movie bases its character on. That character is Werner Erhardt and his EST training sessions. Bert Convy signed up and went to one of these so he could learn what went on there. They ended up hiring some pro football stars to give realism to the film. Those included John Matuzak, Paul Horning, Joe Kapp, and Ed Too Tall Jones. All the football scenes were shot primarily at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. They also ended up shooting some of the crowd footage at the Texas OU football game that was in October of 1976 at the Cotton Bowl. In order to make those scenes look fuller when they were shooting at Dallas's Cotton Bowl, they asked all the extras in the stadium to take off their coats and place them on the seat next to them. The movie was the first film of a two-picture contract between actor Burt Reynolds and producer David Merrick. That second movie in the deal was Rough Cut from 1980. The fictional football teams in the movie are generic, having no team names or mascots, and they're simply known only by their home cities. Burt Reynolds based his character on his friend Don Meredith's football career. And when he and Kris Kristofferson began shooting the football scenes, sometimes they were working with pro athletes, and they ended up hitting Kristofferson so hard that he got injured to the point where some bones were broken. Reynolds and Kristofferson were both outstanding athletes during college. Reynolds almost turned pro because of his football skills. Kristofferson was also a Golden Gloves boxer, but he quit playing football after he started having trouble losing his short-term memory. That may have been more drinking related than contact sport related. The reenactment of the EST meeting with Bert Convy was exactly what Werner Erhard used to open his program. He opened by calling everyone in the audience a-holes right from the very start of the seminar, degrading them and breaking them down initially. There's a really fine chemistry between Kristofferson and Jill Clayburgh, and there's a wealth of amusing contributions from all of the fine supporting cast members, which includes Brian Dennehy in his first noticeable role as a numbskull NFL star, who at one point dangles a woman by her ankles from the roof of a hotel. There is also a priceless interlude between Burt Reynolds and Lottie Lenya, as she plays a completely sadistic chiropractor. Somewhat refreshingly, this is one of the 1970s films that doesn't demand nude scenes from its leading lady. Instead, the director finds numerous excuses for his male leads to take off their tops. In doing the research for this video, I found some really interesting information about Kris Kristofferson, and I just have to share this with you. Even though it doesn't quite pertain to this film, it does pertain to the way the actor really was and is. One of the most legendary claims that goes with Kris Kristofferson's resume is that in 1969, being a former helicopter pilot during the Vietnam War, he actually landed a National Guard helicopter on the lawn of Johnny Cash's home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, in order to hand deliver some demos to him, and he did this in an act of desperation to get his music heard. At that time, Kristofferson was working as a janitor at the offices of Columbia Records, where Johnny Cash was signed. He had met Cash a number of times in the studio and backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, but Cash wouldn't show any attention to the young Kristofferson's songwriting aspirations. He would slip Cash demos of his work or give them to June Carter or Luther Perkins when he had a chance. But according to Johnny Cash, he would just take them home and throw them away. Kristofferson decided to take part-time work with the National Guard to pay his bills, and desperate to get Johnny Cash's attention, decided to deviate from his original flight plan on a training run and land the helicopter at the Hendersonville property front yard. Now, what happens next really depends on who's telling the story. According to Johnny Cash, Kristofferson hopped out of the helicopter with a beer in one hand and demo tapes in the other. He demanded to be heard. Kristofferson tells it a different way and states that Johnny Cash had a real creative imagination, and he says he's never flown a helicopter with a beer in his hand. He said, "Believe me, you need two hands to fly one of those things." So what was the result of Kris Kristofferson's aeronautical attention grab? It got Johnny Cash to invite him up on stage at the Newport Folk Festival later that year. And that's what put Kris Kristofferson on the country music map. The movie received mixed reactions upon its release. Some viewers praised its parodies of the EST training, but others criticized the script and the direction. That being said, the film grossed about $38 million at the box office. This by no means is a great movie, but I still think it's a fun watch. Burt Reynolds is at his usual witty self, which that in itself is a sheer treat. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.